Hi, I've got a plastic rivet gun tooltip. So I recently bought this rivet gun and I found that it was inconsistent in collapsing these rivets. The way it works, the rivet goes in the gun, squeeze the handles, it flares it. A second squeeze usually will set it, and then the third one will break it off. So I started to use this and I would get one pull and it would work, and then I would fight with it and fight with it. And I took it apart and here's what I found. So I'm going to show you how this goes together. This end cap here screws off. And if I hold the handles a bit, parts don't come flying out. And you can see it's threaded. Here we have the collet, or the dogs actually, that engage the rivet when it goes inside. They actually go inside of those dogs. Oh, and it's actually pretty tight. Oh, great. There we go. And what I found is, let me just take this apart here. The components in here are a collet, the two dogs, and these two dogs are situated that they fit inside the collet with the pointy end facing forward. There's an anvil of some sort here that pushes on the back to separate them. I imagine that is to either release the a rivet or to push it back out. I'm not sure. But what I found is on the collet, the inside of the collet here is threaded, and this was not threaded in place in mine. So here's what I had to do. I take the collet and drop it back in place. Take the hammer, which has a split end on here, put it in and turn it till it engages. Then back here, what I need to do is I need to put this in place and kind of wiggle it around until the hammer part kind of falls inside. Push it down until it starts to thread, and that's the important part. I think maybe it was only engaged a partial thread or not engaged at all, but this needs to screw down into place. And with that screwed in place, the cap goes back on, and it helps if you just retract it to fit the cap in. Now, if I've reassembled this correctly, every rivet should grab and compress every time I squeeze the handle, which it does. And that was not happening consistently. So, tool tip. If you have one of these that's not working correctly, pull it apart and make sure that collet is actually threaded onto the barrel inside, and you'll have a whole lot more success. Now this thing works every time I try it. Thank you.